Good, happy Wednesday morning and happy hump day, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. It is February 13, 2019. We begin with the storm watch. Messy morning this morning. With more on that, let's go to meteorologist Kevin Skrupa with a full weather forecast.
At Beltates, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Beltates Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts. Recording this just before 5 a.m., and as you will notice, the last of the more organized precipitation continues to move away early this morning as the wintry mix for the southern half of the state and the snow continuing up north. There will still be areas of light snow for the North Country and the White Mountains as we go into the afternoon, while for southern areas of the state, as the most organized of the precipitation moves away by mid-morning, we'll see a few sunny breaks and a couple of more passing showers into the afternoon. Some improvement through the day as temperatures are expected to be near the freezing mark up north, while we'll be well above the freezing mark in central and southern areas. That should help the cleanup efforts later on this afternoon. Again, a kind of a back and forth. You can kind of see your location here and just how we progress through the day from 6 o'clock this morning through about lunchtime today. You will notice a blend of sunshine and clouds developing for southern areas, while the light snow will continue up north into the afternoon with an additional 2 to 4 inches of accumulation north of the notches. Temperatures today into the 30s and well into the 30s in southern areas before eventually we drop back into the teens and 20s later on tonight under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, partial sunshine, temperatures ranging anywhere from the mid-20s to mid-30s. Again, a couple of more hours above the freezing mark, and then clouds will start to increase Thursday night. Next system looks like some mixed shower activity during the daylight hours on Friday. Some light snow or a wintry mix expected up north during the afternoon, while for southern areas it may be a brief mix, but probably rain showers later in the afternoon. So temperatures today in the 30s, could be a couple of lower 40s in southeastern areas, as it'll be a more changeable sky in southern areas with the occasional snow continuing to fall up north with an additional 2 to 4 inches of accumulation. Mixed showers Friday, cooling off for the weekend, and that will be with partial sunshine week system Sunday evening.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Kevin Skrupa. And now let's take a look at your roadways this morning and see how your traffic is doing this morning. And here's a look at your morning traffic this morning. As you can see, we're seeing a lot of yellow and red areas basically on this side of New Hampshire, and then a couple tiny ones on the Dover and along the seacoast side, but basically towards this side, a lot of yellow here and over here, and then a big green chunk, so that is moving along fast, and then it goes back to yellow in the Exeter area, as you can see. Otherwise, just take it easy. It could be slippery on the roadways due to the weather that we had overnight. And now let's go to your news. First up, snow piles up on New Hampshire roadways. Slow commute. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
We sort of missed those big fluffy flakes that we were seeing earlier this afternoon. Right now it's a strange mix that's falling. It can't really make up its mind what it's going to do just yet. But the snow has not really piled up anymore since a little earlier tonight at 7 o'clock. It sort of made that switch over. But the roads are still snow covered, and that coupled with the ice overnight should make things treacherous on the roads. Plow trucks were busy after the flakes started falling shortly before 3 in Peterborough, quickly coating downtown roads and sidewalks in a powdery snow.
It's beautiful.
You like it?
Yeah. It's coming down really fast.
Some in downtown Peterborough appreciated a snowy evening.
Yeah.
I like it just fine. This is the time of year it's supposed to be happening, so I'd rather get this now than in May.
But it's possible no one was more excited about the snow than the Tolofsky family.
Snow!
They moved to the area a couple of years ago from New Jersey.
Love it. So pretty here. Yeah, a lifestyle change, but it was well worth it.
The kids have big plans for the inches that fell tonight.
You can build snowmen if you can play with it, and you can sled it, and I love sledding.
We have this giant hill in front of our house, and then we sled down there because we have we have this tube sled.
And kids aren't the only ones who plan to take advantage of some fresh snow.
It's going to be good snowboarding tomorrow.
Are you a snowboarder?
Yes.
Nice. Are you going to head out tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely.
Where are you going to go?
Crotchet.
Nice. So you're taking advantage.
Yeah, why not? That's why we live here.
We met a lot of people who were very enthusiastic about the snow. We love the Tolofsky family. Our thanks to them for heading over and talking to us tonight. But as that mix-over continues out on the roads, it is causing some delays for tomorrow morning, including the Monadnock Regional District has a 2-hour delay tomorrow morning. Live in Peterborough, I'm Charisse LeClaire. Now let's send it to Kristen Carosa. She's live in Manchester. That's right, Therese. We are live in Manchester, where there is a parking ban in place. Officials are asking drivers to park here in parking garages like this one on Vine Street as crews continue to clean up the roads for the morning commute. Like many communities, the city of Manchester has declared a snow emergency.
Usually I park on the street, and I kind of have to come right out of work and drop it off right here and walk back to my place.
Joe Birchtold was one of many who dropped off their car in this parking garage on Vine Street while the parking ban is in place from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Several parking areas are open to residents. The city will tow any car left on the road.
And I get it. It makes sense. I definitely have seen cars overnight that haven't moved, and sometimes they get towed, sometimes they don't, but it's not really worth the risk.
In Nashua, emergency officials tell us their parking ban is also in effect.
And we require everyone in Nashua to get their cars off of every street so that we can plow curb to curb and make sure the streets are clear.
And for those who live downtown, the city offers free parking.
The parking garages are open to them for free during the time of the snow emergency.
Nashua police will be going around to check to make sure all cars are moved, something that will be enforced for the rest of the winter season.
We want people to take these winter events seriously, and this is just one of potentially more that are going to be coming through this winter.
Now, officials both in Manchester and Nashua are asking drivers to be really careful in the morning as they come to get their cars because conditions could be pretty icy. We're live in Manchester. Kristen Carosa, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New safety rule implemented for city plow truck drivers. Operators can only be in the driver's seat up to a certain number of hours. Let's take a listen to the video from NBC 5.
The drivers are resting up right now, ready for a long night.
The Lebanon Public Works plow trucks are loaded up and ready to roll as the next round of winter weather hits the region. But one thing that's new this season for the department is how long the city's plow truck drivers are allowed to be at the wheel.
The city manager, Sean Mulholland, implemented this safety rule of 16 hours max time in the seat for drivers.
Public Works Director Jim Donison says so far it's been going well, but it's a change for the drivers.
So they're very dedicated employees in which they want to keep the roads safe and clear of snow.
Lebanon has 10 full-time drivers that cover 10 routes across the city.
It usually takes about 5 hours per route to go and do a complete a complete sweep or a complete snow removal.
Crews making sure that 54 miles of sidewalks and about 100 miles of roadways are clear. In the past, drivers could be out for 20, 24, even 36 hours clearing the roads.
Depending upon the start of the storm, if the start of the storm is at 1 in the morning, then that usually works out well, in which they'll get 5 or 6 hours at night before their shift.
But he added if a storm starts later in the day, it creates a challenge for them.
Then you're into an all-night shift, and the question is, do you send the plow drivers home, or do you keep the roads clear?
And it's something he says they are going to work on over the next few months into next season. In Lebanon, Matt Layton, NBC5 News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Judge orders kidnapping assault suspect to stay in custody. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Gene, a federal judge today said Simpson should stay in jail because there's no way to keep the public safe and guarantee he'll show up for future court appearances if he's released. 41-year-old Everett Simpson is accused of escaping a drug treatment center in Vermont last month, then kidnapping a woman and her 5-year-old son at the Mall of New Hampshire. Police say he forced the woman to go to a Vermont hotel, then sexually assaulted her in front of her child. Investigators say he was later arrested in Pennsylvania after crashing a stolen car. Prosecutors say he's dangerous and has already shown he's a flight risk. In fact, Simpson was at the drug treatment facility in the first place as part of a court-ordered condition of release after an arrest in September. In that case, he faced charges for vehicle theft, high-speed pursuit, and aggravated assault. We'll have much more on this coming up at 6. In the studio, Monica Hernandez, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Proposal would build new secure psychiatric hospital. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Suzanne Rowntree.
For 34 years, the state has been struggling to fix a problem at the secure psychiatric unit at the state prison that was intended to be a temporary situation, mixing convicted criminals with civilly committed patients, those who have not committed a crime but are deemed too dangerous to remain at New Hampshire Hospital or out in the community. Today, a House committee heard testimony on a bill that would pave the way for a new secure hospital.
Over the past couple decades, 2 different study committees set up by the legislature have recommended building a secure forensic hospital someplace. What this bill does is it directs the Commissioner of Health and Human Services to develop plans and go forward with construction of a secure psychiatric hospital here in the state of New Hampshire.
Supporters of the bill say it would unify the healthcare system, with Health and Human Services overseeing the facility, not the Department of Corrections. Some are concerned that if the bill is made into law, that there will be a rush to build the new facility. Representative Ken Snow says he has concerns about staffing issues.
I think the timelines are very tight. There's really an awful lot of things that are going to have to be done if this is going to work. One of the problems is what you're proposing to do is to move the whole secure psychiatric unit from the Department of Corrections to the Department of Health and Human Services.
The committee is expected to vote on the bill next week. In Concord, Suzanne Rowntree, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Rochester Boy 11 hopes to receive Valentine's Day cards from all 50 states. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
He's a very quirky little boy. He's awesome, very funny.
11-year-old Mikey Hafner has been through a lot in his short life.
We found out when we were 18 weeks pregnant with him that he had congenital hydrocephalus, which basically means additional water on the brain.
Mikey had several brain surgeries before he was 3 months old. He also has some mental health issues and was diagnosed with autism last year.
He started having some increased behavioral issues, which led us to having to bring him to the hospital.
He spent 6 days in the ER waiting for a bed to open at a psychiatric facility. Rebecca had the option of taking him home, but said if she did, Mikey would have lost his spot on the waiting list.
It was just so frustrating because you go into a hospital with a broken bone or something, they can help you immediately, but you go in with any psychiatric help, you're in crisis, and they make you wait for days or weeks.
A bed finally opened at Hampstead Hospital, where Mikey is now getting help. A lover of all holidays, he was heartbroken over missing Valentine's Day at school.
And I told him that I would talk to friends and family, and we would see what we could do about getting him some cards while he's in the hospital. And that turned into him requesting that we try and get one card from each state.
So Rebecca took on that challenge. She started a Facebook group called Valentine's Day Cards for Mikey.
7, 8, 9.
Cards from all over New Hampshire and even a few spots around the country have been pouring in.
I was planning on taking the cards and hanging them up in his bedroom wall when he got home, so when he came home that was just a whole room, a whole setup of love, encouragement, support, and I don't think I'm going to have enough room now.
If you'd like to send a card, you can find out how on our website or mobile app. In Rochester, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Features point to triple-digit gain for Dow on U.S.-China trade optimism. U.S. stocks index feature a higher Wednesday morning, with market participants hopeful that China and U.S. trade authorities will reach an agreement. GOP leaders urge Trump to sign border deal back executive action for more funding. Sources say Trump could both reprogram funds and declare a national emergency. Even though the bipartisan deal to avoid a shutdown falls far short of what President Donald Trump has been demanding to fund his border wall, top Republicans said Tuesday he should sign it and support his taking executive action to make up the differences. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.